It's been so long since we've done a fucking podcast.
Aqua, start the stream.
I'm already regretting it. I'm already fucking regretting it.
Hey, Aqua, mute my soundboard. I got a really good bit.
And I'm not unmuting your soundboard.
What? But think about the potential, Aqua. Think about the potential.
No potential. No potential. No potential.
That's what you're gonna say to all these matchups, and our fans are gonna stop supporting us.
Okay, anyway, for context, people, we did a little thing in the tournament where we had people submit fan scripts of Realm of Gods, and me and Don are gonna read them and then like grade them on how well we think they did. And then, yeah, we'll just go through all of them. That's pretty much the entire stream. Is that Dr. Hippo time? Dr. Hippo time is not here. This is Ecto Donovan Spasm TA.
Hello.
So, without further ado, Don, do you have Garfield versus Snoopy pulled up?
I'm looking for it. I can't find it. I forgot.
Oh, there it is.
You fucking idiot. This is by our good friend Adam Gregory. This is by our good friend Adam Gregory of GGM fam.
Okay.
We can go ahead and start. Fuck, hold on. I gotta let my fucking brother in. Hold on.
The question wrong. Study harder. Off to a rip-roaring start. Did you miss us? Oh fuck! Oh, it's me,
I'm
Aqua.
back.
Oh.
I'm back, chat room. Sorry. Okay. Do you have it pulled up, Don?
Yo.
Okay, we'll start. Obviously, if we mess up, whatever. It's not a real script, so we're not taking it that seriously. And also, if these scripts say anything fucking weird or disgusting, we're gonna try not to say it. But you know, people try to be stupid, so not everything in these scripts do we condone. No, shut up. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna start reading, and I'm gonna fucking mute you. Okay. So.
Then what's the point?
Because you're being bad. Stop. We have shit to do. Comics have come in all sorts of different forms. One of the most iconic being the classic newspaper strips.
And this cat and dog duo have become the faces of the Sunday funnies.
Garfield, John's lazy, lasagna-loving feline.
And Snoopy, Charlie Brown's imaginative beagle.
It's high time to bring this underspoken rivalry to an end. I'm Aqua, the mouse with a vision, yada yada yada.
I'm Ecto, the ghost with the free time.
Together we've analyzed these combatants' power, skills, and fuck you, Realm of Gods. Garfield. Don, you already talked about Garfield?
Yeah, give me a fucking second. In a rundown part of a non-disclosed American city, there was a litter of stray kittens born in the kitchen of an old Italian restaurant, cared for and fed by their owner with nowhere else to go.
One of those kittens would develop a particular fondness for the cuisine, especially lasagna. But things took a turn for the worse when the restaurant was shut down for good, leaving what remained of the family to fend for themselves. Luckily for the one kitten, it wouldn't be long before he found himself a new home with the man, myth, and legend himself, John Arbuckle.
Being pretty lonely as an unsuccessful cartoonist, John was desperate for any companionship he could find, and after a fated encounter with the kitten, he'd adopt and name him Garfield, hoping it would bring some much-needed excitement into his life, for better or worse.
Mostly worse. True. Garfield would make John's life a living hell. I'm sorry, John. Tormenting the poor man and mocking him relentlessly within his own mind, where he can't even hear him.
To be fair, John's pretty much asking to get bullied most of the time. I know I'd shove this grown-ass man into a locker.
I mean, yeah, but that's beside the point. Garfield would quickly prove to be a menace whenever he's not sleeping or lazing about throughout the day. This cat not only eats him out of a house. I hate that. I hate eats him at home on a weekly basis. But he's caused so much needless damage to it, too. He's caused so much needless damage to it, too. Okay. He's destroyed it on 2 separate occasions, at least. Trying to kill a fly or just from burping. Ugh.
I guess before we get too far into this, we should mention Garfield's a practitioner of that mysterious dark art known as Toon Force. Basically an ability all toons have, where reality can bend to their whims, for both for or against them. All for the sake of a joke. This is how Garfield could pull off all of his crazy shit, like squeezing himself into tight spaces, kicking Odie literally into next week, breathing fire just from eating spicy foods, or most prominently, eating enough food to feed a starving nation 3 times over.
That not enough for you? Well, he can also break the fourth wall, talking directly to the audience, and even manipulating the comic he's in as he sees fit.
Jeez, next you're gonna tell me you could just change the plot?
Well, in the Garfield Show, Season 2, Episode 11, The Haunted House, Garfield does exactly that. He could just ask for a copy of the script and change the outcome of the episode to suit his needs.
It's fucking cheating. Of course he can. I guess it makes as much sense as the time he took a bite out of the moon. He just casually ate a bunch of space rocks and metal off-panel from Earth. Okay, Jim.
No less wild, then, in Season 2, Episode 7, Blasteroid, where the Space Lasagna planned revenge by destroying Earth with a giant meteor, which turned out to be a meatball, and Garfield at the whole thing. And Garfield at the whole thing. What?
And Garfield ate the whole thing.
Ate the whole thing. You're getting points off for crim. No, I'm kidding. A meatball that would have been comparable to the thing that killed the dinosaurs.
Adam, you got the question wrong. Study harder.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
How the hell did you know the exact episodes? And what do you mean revenge? That the Space Lasagna are recurring villains?
This show gets pretty wild, Donovan. Crazy to think this all came from a house cat who can't even be bothered to chase mice. Then again, he is fast enough to move faster than sound, and even the speed of dark, so maybe it just wouldn't be a challenge for him.
Alright, let's rein it back in a little. This is still Garfield we're talking about. A fat, lazy cat that can barely make it out of his driveway before collapsing from exhaustion. Food is pretty much the only thing that motivates him, unless it's raisins. Good to know he has some boundaries, I guess.
And a very peculiar weakness is that he has the worst luck, specifically on Mondays. Hence why he hates them, even though he doesn't have to work. Either that, or it's because that's when John leaves for work on Mondays. Despite his rough exterior, he's a cat who cares deep down. One who wouldn't give up his new family for all the lasagna in the world. That's not fucking true. That's not fucking true. Garfield does not love anybody.
John's a cartoonist that works from home. What are you talking about?
Oh, and did we mention he's also an eldritch god?
Sure, why not at this point?
That's funny. Ooh, Snoopy. Okay, I do partake in a little bit of Peanuts enjoyment, so I will be fact checking this. One night on the Daisy Hill puppy farm, a mother beagle had given birth to a litter of 7 puppies. As they grew, they would each develop their own distinct personalities, and even formed a musical group together.
But not all good things can last, as each member of the litter was adopted until only one was left. And with the breeding mill going out of business, that last puppy had to find a new home. Fast. That's when a certain round-headed kid walked in on one fateful day, and good old Charlie Brown adopted him, giving him the new name, Snoopy. And he continued growing under his new home. It became apparent he didn't have a normal dog like everybody else.
Snoopy, of course, possesses all of your standard canine abilities, having souped-up senses of smell and hearing. But even by beagle standards, it's insanely acute. Being able to hear the crinkling of a candy wrapper at the outskirts of town, and he ran 5 miles in an hour, 5 miles in an instant. Okay, to find it. What a weird fucking feat.
As alluded to earlier, he's also a little eccentric, to say the least. And that reflects in some of the things he does. He can manipulate sound from Schroeder's piano, once taught himself magic from a book he randomly found in a library, being able to turn people invisible and lift them into the air, and he can even spin his ears like helicopters to fly.
Just like Tails, except if his name was Ears.
Yeah?
That's how I feel about that joke. Though, honestly, who needs to use your ears when you're the proud owner of a Sopwith? Is that how you say Sopwith camel? I don't know.
Yeah.
As a World War I flying ace, Snoopy's pretty skilled at piloting one of these bad boys, even using it to take down the Red Baron himself.
Hold on, I thought that was all in his head.
Well, it usually is. But there's actually a few instances where Snoopy's been able to manifest his imagination into reality. Like in the Snoopy's Grand Adventure video game. Here, a simple game of hide-and-seek becomes a full-on adventure through jungles, hidden temples, and dark caves, with Snoopy gaining new abilities.
Okay, sure. Here, he could do some of his classic personas, like the Masked Stranger, giving him a significant boost to his strength, or an astronaut suit that lets him float through the air. In this game, the kids he saves also have some pretty impressive feats, starting with that bossy brat Lucy, who toppled a giant robot version of herself with a single shout.
Makes sense for the loudmouth of the group. In another instance, she screamed loud enough to shake the entire Earth. This kid's packing some serious power, yet Snoopy arm wrestles her to a standstill, until he cheated with his goated dog germs.
I'm surprised he didn't just write her out of existence, since apparently these comic strip scrimblos can just do that.
Don't be ridiculous. What would give you that idea? Anyway, he should also scale to his owner, Charlie Brown. Can't forget about him. Once he hit a baseball and ran all the way around the world to catch it. Or not. But that speed's nothing to scoff at.
I'd say it's surprising his team keeps losing, but it's really not. They really suck. Like, it's bad when they got a dog on the team and he's sleeping through most of the game.
Yeah, Snoopy's far from perfect. While he's held his own against Lucy, he's not an extremely experienced fighter, losing pretty badly to the stupid cat next door named... Wait, really? And also a lawn chair. That was alive, somehow.
Oh, the cat next door is named World War II.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
He also seems to have a pretty big head, considering himself world famous everything, but especially a writer, despite never managing to get his Dark and Stormy Nights published. Maybe some of Charles's loserness rubbed off on him. He does seem to be the only one that sticks by him at the end of the day, after all.
Well, that's why we keep on rooting for Charlie Brown. Life may be cruel, but if just one person believes in you, that could be more than enough. Snoopy may not be a normal dog, but I'm sure he wouldn't have it any other way.
I guess it's true what they say. Happiness really is a warm puppy.
That's a good ending. I like that. That's good. All right, we got the verdict. We're gonna get to find out who fucking wins.
Well, I guess non-deaths are on the table. Cool to know. Wink.
we didn't say that. Probably a surprising turnout given how cat and dog conflicts usually go in cartoons. But Garfield's our winner here. Oh, okay. Not that Snoopy didn't have anything going for him, though. Being able to manifest his imagination into reality made him a lot more versatile, thanks to his many personas giving him abilities like magic, strength boosts, and more.
And while Snoopy on his own didn't hold a candle to the fat cat uprooting trees or destroying houses, with the highest scaling to people like Lucy, he could more easily hold his own. Unfortunately, Garfield had a lot more going for him that rendered these advantages moot.
Getting the obvious out of the way, Snoopy's not really much of a fighter. Sure, he's thrown hands with Lucy before, but otherwise he kinda sucks in a fight. Hell, he constantly gets his ass kicked by the fat cat next door to him. Meanwhile, Garfield's actually defeated martial artists and threats to the entire Earth through his wit and skill, which feels pretty ironic, given who we're talking about here.
That is ironic as who took speed, though. The best Snoopy's got is scaling to Charlie Brown, whose feat of running around the world would put him at hypersonic. But that's nothing compared to Garfield being able to move faster than light, or dark, same difference, ensuring Snoopy wouldn't be able to tag him with anything in the first place.
And even if he does, there's also the matter of Garfield just plot manipulating things in his favor. This is a surprisingly consistent thing, in addition to all his other wacky Toon Force and Fourth Wall shenanigans, that Snoopy really didn't have an answer to. Not one that he'd immediately resort to, anyway. This basically invalidated Snoopy's biggest edge with his imagination. It's hard to compete with literally changing the script to suit your needs.
In the end, while they were evenly matched in some areas, Garfield's wackier prowess and greater speed were more than enough for him to get Snoopy's tongue.
The winner is Garfield. Oh, I get it, because he's a cat. What? Oh, Okay, I see. Never mind. I get it, Adam.
Aqua, you Question wrong. Study harder.
I'm gonna fucking end the stream if you say that one more time. I'm so dead ass.
What?
I will end it. I will
What?
end it.
What?
I really like this. I really like the end of Snoopy's and rundown, and it's a really fun ending. And some of the jokes are really funny. I mean, obviously this is a fan script, so I'm not gonna be like, oh, it need to be super long. But for like an actual episode, I'd probably give it another page for both, just because like reading it out loud, it did feel like the ability coverage went over kind of fast, and then immediately went back to story. When I think there could have been a little bit of like not symmetry, like concisiveness or like cohesiveness, I guess is the better way to put it, like into everything. But I think it's good. Good script, Adam.
Oh yeah, it's all right.
Okay, so this next one we're doing, Don, Patrick Bateman versus Arthur Fleck. This is by Ice King. And fun fact, this is gonna be an episode of Realm of Gods back when me and Dorm were running the show. This is gonna be like our 4th episode, I think. It's like our 3rd or 4th. So we were gonna do this. So this is like what in the alternate reality where me and Don do it. You know?
Wow.
You ready, Don?
I suppose.
You know, I sure do love social commentaries with the psychotic main character.
That's one way to start an episode, but yeah, social commentary about society seems to be a pretty big hit these days, and no two characters represent this better than
Patrick Bateman, the American Psycho.
And Arthur Fleck, the Joker.
I'm Aqua.
And I'm Hector, the ghost who is hip to being scared.
And it's our job to find who will win in the realm of gods. What? Writing fire?
Ooh.
Okay. I'm not reading this entire monologue. There you go, Don. Your line.
It's the 1980s in Manhattan, and 27-year-old rich investment banker known as Patrick Bateman is living it up. Going to parties, eating at fancy restaurants with friends, and murdering a whole lot of people. Wait a minute.
Yeah, as it turns out, Patrick Bateman may just be the craziest son of a bitch we've had on the show in a while. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, considering what our next episode is. Bateman has been killing people at least since his college days, and probably even before that. He's racked up a body count anywhere from 40 to potentially 100 if we take him at his word.
Considering how jacked the guy is, that's honestly not too surprising, since he works out mostly every day. He's generally capable of ripping people apart. In an American Psycho email, yes, that is a real thing, he was able to kick a mugger's jaw off, which requires about 2 kilojoules of energy to do.
Impressive. Now let's see Paul Allen's feat.
Yeah!
Though Bateman does not just use physical force, he has quite a few weapons on hand. For basic stuff he can just pull out of his bag, there's knives, blades, pepper spray, or even just a straight-up handgun that he can use to blow someone away.
Including multiple police officers. Police officer. What am I Including multiple police officers, and for his most extreme weapons, he has axes and chainsaws. The former he used to cut up Paul Allen, or Owen, depending on what version of the story you're experiencing, just because of a stupid Fisher account. What?
Jeez, what a psycho.
An American Psycho!
That does it. Say goodbye to your face.
Ow, the hell? What? Why are you writing? Why is Don punching me? Why are you writing this? Why'd you write this?
Why are you hitting yourself, Aqua? Huh? Why are you hitting yourself?
No.
Anyway, like I was saying, Patrick is indeed a psychopath, and he made himself is aware of this fact. He views himself as inhuman.
In spite of this, Patrick's life just keeps going down a downward spiral, and it seems that his insanity is finally coming to an end.
The police are closing in on him. There's nowhere left to hide. All Patrick can do is call his lawyer and admit to every crime he committed, hoping for the best, but then nothing happens. He wakes up the next day and everything's exactly the same as it's always been.
Patrick tries to talk to his lawyer in person, but the man dismisses everything he says as a joke and moves on to talk to someone else.
Now Patrick realizes that no matter what he does, nothing can break him out of his prison. This eternal hell he has trapped himself in. His confession meant nothing.
And then he gets stabbed to death by a little girl in the second movie.
What?
What? Okay, we're talking about the fucking Joker. Are you ready? You ready? We're talking about the Joker.
I'm the Joker,
The
baby.
Joker. The
Yeah.
Joker. It's the 1970s, and Arthur Fleck has been having a rough go of it with a low-paying job as a clown while also trying out stand-up, which gets him ridiculed by one of his favorite late-night talk show hosts, Murray Franklin, and by his aging mom. Things just aren't going well for Arthur, and all he has are negative thoughts.
That is until he met a nice girl that comforted Arthur, who seemed to understand what Arthur was going through, but as it turns out, she did not like Arthur in the same way. Because as it turns out, he only briefly met her in the elevator and fantasized about all the rest. Oh, and he lost his job. His mother is now in the hospital, and his dad may or may not be Thomas Wayne, who is quite rich and has a family of his own.
Which, if that's the case, means that Thomas abandoned Arthur and his mom, Penny, leaving them poor. In which case, yeah, I can see why Arthur would be quite upset about it, although it is ultimately left ambiguous whether they are related or not.
Feeling pretty bad, Arthur took a ride on the subway where he saw 3 young men harassing a woman, which makes him laugh because he has a condition that makes him laugh at things that aren't really all that funny. Hey, just like Aqua. Then they go up to Arthur, start beating on him, to which Arthur decides to pull out a gun and shoot the 3 men dead.
Thus was born the Joker, baby! After this, Arthur then proceeds to kill his mother in the hospital, smothering her with a pillow, hits some jigs on some stairs, and then 2 detectives begin to give Arthur chase, because Arthur had been quite the little scamp indeed.
That actually segues into Arthur's stats. Arthur has showed off quite some impressive feats, like outrunning police officers and taking getting hit by a car and just walking it off, quite literally.
Yes, and near the end of the first film, after he gets arrested, he survives being in a car crash when another car rams into the police vehicle he was being escorted in.
Oh, why'd you turn into, like, Melvin?
Melvin, brother of the Joker.
This feat would actually come out to around 1.9 kilojoules, or just about street level.
But to back up a little bit, before getting arrested by the police, Arthur actually got on the Murray Franklin show, because Arthur had gained quite a massive following. Arthur had planned to end the show by shooting himself. However, Arthur then decided to turn the gun on Murray, shocking the world as millions watched one of the most famous talk show hosts get shot dead.
After all this, Arthur now found himself in an asylum, awaiting his trial, and the day finally came.
Boom! A massive explosion goes off, killing at least a dozen people and freeing Arthur, but not for long, because he eventually winds up back at prison, where he finds himself face to face with another inmate who stabs Arthur to death, and just like that, his life was over.
That's a depressing way to end it.
Not if you ask him. To Arthur, his life's a fucking comedy. It's fucking crazy. That's just actually how the Joker movies go. He gets arrested, and then no, actually, he's not the Joker. He gets stabbed to death in prison. Fucking stupid. Fuck those
It's pretty
movies.
funny.
Okay. Talk about a brutal finish. But yes, this is no joke. Arthur had won the battle. But why? Arthur won our previous script too. When we were gonna do it.
Well, for one thing, Arthur held a pretty big stat advantage against Patrick. Remember that the explosion feat from earlier, while doing the math, would actually come out to around 20 megajoules, or just barely small building level. It gives Arthur a pretty huge stat advantage, physically speaking.
Yes, and it certainly doesn't help that they're around the same level speed, and reaction-wise, both being able to outrun police officers and shoot people before they can even notice.
While Patrick does have quite an arsenal of chainsaws, axes, shotguns, and what have you, it doesn't really matter when Arthur could just shoot him in the head.
Which leads us to Arthur's biggest advantage, besides the stat one, of course, being that he plays around a lot less with his victims and tends to go for the kill more often, whereas Patrick almost always decides to torture them, with the only times he didn't do that being when he was attacked by police officers, and I highly doubt that he would take Arthur as serious as he did train police officers.
So, ultimately, while Patrick would put up a good fight, he just isn't strong enough to put Arthur down. But hey, that's life.
Dun, 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 dun. The winner's Arthur Fleck. I mean, it's your first script, so I won't be too mean. I'd be a fucking asshole.
I think if I were to give a criticism, I would focus less on trying to just recap the plot of the movies and focus a little more on just, like, what they can actually do.
Yeah.
Because there's a little too much going into unnecessary detail.
I do appreciate the little images he did for the rundown. I actually do this too in my scripts, where I do little images for all the rundowns.
That's a lie. I'll lie to you.
I did not. I'm not pulling up a script to show you because then I'd leak shit. But I
No,
do
go on.
that.
Go on.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I can't. But yeah, I think that's probably the big thing I'd noticed. I'd also, yeah, I mean, other than the recap stuff, I think the conclusion could probably be a little bit more in depth because usually we try and make it a little bit longer than this. But I think for what it is and for a first script, it's a good starting point. I think you've got something there, Ice King. Moving on, I don't know what this one is. Oh fuck. Okay, we're talking about Jason Voorhees versus the Marionette from Five Nights at Freddy's. Don, this is like the ultimate.
We're gonna see how. We're gonna see how quickly this pisses me off.
Oh no. Oh no. Alright. The death of a child is one of the worst things imaginable, especially if it's at a place designed for their entertainment.
But what if these souls came back? Well, with these two, it shows how the different path of revenge can go.
Jason Voorhees versus the Marionette. These white-masked undead killers have spent years within their sorrow, but when they clash, only one of them will get to see their happiest day.
Never thought we'd have an episode based on the connection of child murder, but yeah, all right.
Guys, Springtrap versus Junko. That's one of the connections, guys.
That's the next episode.
That's the next same fucking series we're using too. I'm Aqua, the Master of the Vision, yada yada. We don't gotta do the chant every time. The terror of Jason Voorhees. Alright. Through the history of Camp Crystal Lake, there has been a shadow, a dark phantom that has haunted the once beloved campsite for decades, leaving the site mostly abandoned and left to rot in legend. And throughout the trees, you can still hear his call. It's kick ma ma ma. This is wrong. Oh, you correct it. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm not gonna get corrected by Don. I'm not doing it. You stupid. Well, actually, I'm docking your pay. There you go.
I don't get paid.
Exactly. That's true, you don't. This zombie is a vengeance it will never let go of. A mind forever corrupted by the words of his beloved mother.
And this monster of the forest is known to all as Jason Voorhees. He's back.
Oh,
he's the man
back.
behind the mask.
He's out of his hole. But how did he become this way? Well, it all started in 1957, when Jason and his mom, Pamela, were at the camp, as Pamela was hired to be the site's cook. Being unable to hire a nanny for Jason, she brought him along.
Jason was born with hydrocephalus, a condition that causes an increase of the skull. Because of this deformity, as well as him being generally a bit antisocial to anyone other than Pamela, the other kids bullied and mocked him, pushing him up to the docks before pushing him into the lake, where he would seemingly drown.
I need to fix here, chat, we're gonna fix it. There you go, it's fit. It's a little weirder, but hopefully you guys can see the script better. Where is I at? Understandably upset over this happening while the camp counselors were off having sex, Pamela would come back to take her revenge, going on a murder spree in several cases of arson. This path of murder would eventually get cut short in 1979, however, as she was killed by the last survivor of her latest killing spree, Alice Hardy, her head sent flying with a swing of a machete.
And as Alice floated away, who else to find Pamela's corpse than Jason, who's actually been alive this entire time, living off pine cones.
This is true. This is true. Apparently, he was just alive the entire time. Actually, it was something more. In Pamela's grief, she looked into the Necronomicon. Fuck! Not Necronomicon mentions. No. And used its power to revive Jason. Now, it's not actually stated when Jason came back, so maybe he did survive off of pine cones for 20 years.
Looking down at his mother's body sent him on the path of following his mother's footsteps, and he soon started killing just so many people.
Jason's a very versatile killer, using almost anything he can get his hands on, but his favorite is undoubtedly a machete.
Sure, it's odd he keeps killing people with the same kind of weapon that killed his mom, but it's effective, even when it's the wrong side of the blade.
Jason is also strong as hell. being able to crush heads like nothing and bust through glass and doors like they were made of paper. The Part 3 novelization states that he was able to throw hay bales that weigh hundreds of pounds.
He can also survive a bit more than a normal human probably should, like getting bashed in the dome with a shovel or an axe to the side of his head, and he's even stated to have always had a healing factor present, never getting any broken bones after getting out of the lake. Probably explains how he survived literally getting hanged.
But eventually, even this unstoppable beast was put to an end, when a boy named Tommy Jarvis used Jason's own machete to slash him in the side of the head, before he repeatedly stabbed into his body, finally putting an end to Jason's final chapter.
How many movies do we have after this?
Of course, this happy ending could only last so long. After that traumatic night, Tommy was haunted and needed to make sure Jason was gone for good, sticking a fence pole into his chest to ensure his death.
And like an even more ugly Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein.
A single lightning bolt was able to bring Jason back from the dead. And unfitting for most dead people I know, he just got so much stronger.
Let's see, he was able to flip a car, fold a bed in half with a person still on it, punch someone's head clean off with a single blow, whacked a woman like at Mac Get Fucked. What? Mock Get Fucked? Okay. Whacked a woman like at Mock Get Fucked, used a shopping cart to turn that poor bastard into Swiss cheese, and just, oh my god, so much more.
Oh, and don't think it's because he's a walking corpse that it means he's weak. His regeneration has gone from slowly regenerating broken bones to regenerating entire chunks of himself after they've gotten blown off. That's not all he's had to endure either, like the time a soul vortex was sucking up Freddy Krueger, Ash Williams, and a car. Meanwhile, not only was Jason still standing, he was still walking.
Don't also forget the time that he fought an exact clone of Jason. He fought Uber Jason from Jason X. It was actually doing well, and Uber Jason survived getting body slammed into re-entry. Unless you got an entire firing squad or a lawsuit, there's no real way of keeping Jason down for good.
Oh, and there was the time he survived the iconic New York toxic waste. I remember when I got hit by that. That's how I became a ghost.
Is it really? Is that how you became a ghost, Donovan?
Nah, I don't know. I don't remember how it happened. It's been a long time. I miss who I was.
I miss my wife.
I miss my wife Tails.
And on a similar note, it's kind of unclear what Jason even is at this point. Sure, he could be a Deadite, but he doesn't really act like one. But he's definitely not just any zombie. He's shown to be able to teleport and transform into this weird worm thing that can possess people, though that can only occur when his entire body is destroyed.
It's not even the only way J-Man can possess people, as his mask can also possess anyone that wears it. With all this ridiculous power, it's no wonder Jason made a name for himself. Not only is the spawn of Camp Blood, but the most famous slasher of all time.
Is it? I don't know who's more popular between Jason and Freddy. Or Michael. I don't know who's the most popular between those three.
I think it would be Jason, just because whenever you think like a slasher, the mask is probably the first thing that comes to mind.
Fair enough. Fair. But underneath the terror, there's some bits of tragedy. This boy's soul was taken far too soon for something he could never control, and was left to see his own mother, his only loved one, die right in front of him. He never got the chance to grow up, and all he is now is a beast of the forest, the monster of the lake, a killer.
Maybe if Jason got the love and attention he needed, none of this would have happened. But demons aren't allowed to have a happy day, and must walk along the path fate gave them. And for Jason, that path will likely never end.
So if you're in the woods, be aware. For if you are in his sight, the shadow of Camp Crystal Lake will add you to his kill count, and there will be nowhere to hide. Beating the marionette, you can't.
He's a man behind.
So I researched Springtrap. So if there's anything that pisses me off, I'm not gonna say anything about it because the episode's not out.
If anything that pisses me off, I'm gonna snap you in half like a fucking wishbone.
The story of Freddy Fazbear. Oh fuck! I already fucked up. The story of Fazbear Entertainment is one.
Get harder.
I'm gonna shut up. The story of Fazbear Entertainment is one filled with heartbreak and tragedy, lies and deception, pain and sorrow. So many souls lost far too early, and so many others left to suffer because of the actions of one man, William Afton. You might have heard of him.
And one could only imagine the sorrow Henry Emily must have felt while being William's business partner. A genius inventor with the dream of opening up a restaurant with robotics, Henry Afton would bring the world Fredbear's Family Diner and start off the Fazbear brand.
Luckily for him, Henry wasn't just stuck with that purple child murdering bastard, as he had his daughter, Charlotte.
Charlie was a kind girl, always putting those around her above herself, always trying to protect the innocent. It's clear the two had a close bond, especially considering one of Henry's creation, the marionette. Or the puppet, whatever you want to call it.
Marionette was designed by Henry to prevent children from leaving the pizzeria by themselves, with it especially being protective of Charlie.
Unfortunately, some asshole kids put boxes on top of the Marionette's music box, trapping it and leaving it unable to let Charlie inside. Because back in the 80s, literally everyone was a massive dick for no reason.
This is true. Might have been from the coke withdrawals.
Even the kids?
Especially the kids. While everyone was distracted by the Big Bear himself, a purple van would roll up to Charlie, and out walked William Afton.
By the time the Marionette was able to get outside, the rain damaging its spring locks, it was too late. Charlie was gone, and all it could do was give her body a hug as it broke down.
Grief-stricken and destroyed, Henry would sell off Fazbear Entertainment and go into hiding. Meanwhile, Afton would go to work with his own robotic line. But unknown to them all, the Marionette was far from broken. Charlotte was far from broken.
Filled with agony, Charlie's soul fused the Marionette animatronic, keeping her trapped and unable to move on. But with this awful situation, she found a new purpose, as she wasn't the only one Afton murdered, and would not be the last.
Understanding their pain and their anger, she would help them seek the revenge they desire, and help them finally move on from these metal tombs.
The Marionette isn't exactly a skilled fighter, but she makes up for it in her powers. She's able to cause hallucinations, teleport, and float, and she doesn't need strings attached to jump across the hallway and right into your skull.
In the movie, she's even able to possess people and corrupt their bodies, giving them weird, long fingers, and being able to crawl on walls like a spider. Oh, and there's the puppetlings. What wonderful creatures. They were able to kill a full-grown man. I even got one myself.
Why the fuck did you bring that into the studio?
Because it's my son and I love it.
Marionette also has control. My stupid shut son. Marionette also has control over the toy animatronics, including Toy Chud, the gamer, Toy Chud, who sounds like he has a theory, Toy Chica, who I'm not even going to say it, and Funtime Foxy. I mean, Toy Foxy, who's seen better days.
Did you call Toy Freddy and Toy Bonnie Toy Chud?
Maybe.
Forget power scaling the robots. How strong are these kids to do that to Foxy? Like, how does this even happen? Where'd the extra head come from?
Now the mangle. He's able to crawl on walls and smash your way through windows. She's also commonly theorized to be behind the bite of 87, when one of the animatronics bit off someone's frontal lobe.
The toys are all fit with an advanced facial recognition system, being able to pull up any criminal record a person could have, though that system does seem to have a few issues with masks.
Oh, I think my Puppetling, I hate Puppetling, has that system. Let's see if we have criminal records. Oh, we don't have somebody. Do you want to do the Puppetling voice, or should I, Don?
Yeah, okay. Ecto-TA spasm, the fourth, clean. Awkward team mouse with a vision. Guilty on accounts of breaking and entering, robbery, greenlighting Tetris versus Jenga, and being a little bitch.
Those are crimes?
I like the idea that you didn't know robbery or breaking and entering were crimes.
That's a good joke.
Clearly someone doesn't know what I did when I was alive. Anywho, along the main line of toy animatronics, there's one who everyone loves, the Balloon Boy. While by himself, he could be easily folded. I imagine that's with the idea in mind of the scene where Mike just rips his head off. He acts as a good distraction, especially with the Balloon Boy horde in the FNAF novels. Powered with illusion discs, these simple wind-up toys transform into like 40 different balloon boys, all saying the same 3 sound bits over and over again.
Fucking hell. Okay, where are we at?
I feel like
I feel like that's a nightmare for most, and a joy for the one guy out there who really likes Balloon Boy. Oh, we got the writer's note. Hi, yeah, that's me. I adore Balloon Boy so much. With all the toys by her side,
yeah,
I like Balloon Boy.
yeah, I like Balloon Boy.
Charlie is definitely able to catch up to any night guard and make quick work of them. While she is usually portrayed as the calm one, once her music box goes off, damn, she will take no time to get out of her prize box and get to you. She does have a bit of a sadistic side to her.
But out of all the other possessed animatronics, she is stated to be the only one aware, while the others are just like animals. And like wild animals, eventually the toy animatronics had to be put down, following a disastrous birthday party. But the marionette stuck around.
In the next location, a recycle of the first Freddy's, she found her way there. And after William comes back to put down his creations one last time, Charlotte helps the souls one last time to help keep William locked away. The rain once again making the lock shut. She is able to give these souls their happiest day, and while they all seem to move on, Charlie stuck around to ensure William was gone.
Of course, he wasn't, because 30 years later, Springtrap would rise in Fazbear Frights, and so would Charlie. But after all this time, someone else has proved themselves to still be standing, as the marionette was later captured by a new animatronic, Lefty, or just Lefty, who was sent out by none other than Henry Emily himself.
Filled with regret over all the killings, all the heartbreak, all the agony William has caused, Henry set up a new Fazbear location with the purpose to trap all the remaining souls in one place so he can finally bring them closure, himself included.
As the flames took over Freddy's, Charlie could hear her father's voice once more before she could pass a final time, content with all she was able to do.
Throughout the Fazbear history, pain and sorrow has haunted it. But even in the darkest of places, a soul of pure love and empathy was there to help as many as she could.
After all that had happened to her, who Charlotte was never truly changed. A kind soul who would always be there to lift others into her arms. Someone who would stop at nothing so the innocents were safe. The guilty got what they deserved, and that even the saddest of souls were able to get their happiest day.
Okay, they wrote a conclusion. Oh, they did art! That's cool! A little stick figure art. That's cool. I like it.
That's pretty badass.
That's pretty badass. Imagine the fucking thought of Jason fucking chilling in Fazbear's Fright is fucking bothersome to me, though. I hate that.
Both of these guys need to stay away from water. I swear to God, it never ends well.
This was an interesting matchup, to say the least. While the toys had a solid advantage in their numbers, and Charlotte had a massive intelligence advantage, Jason absolutely takes it in skill and strength.
The toys, while definitely skilled killers in their own right, couldn't even hold a candle to the amount of people Jason has left slain. And while smashing through solid glass and denting cars with just their steps was impressive, Jason was doing similar stuff to that when he was just a human.
Jason also held a speed advantage, as well as his teleportation being far more blatant. Even with all that, though, it could be argued that the marionette could use her intelligence and the toys to trick and overwhelm Jason. But the one massive thing that gave Jason the win was simply his durability.
The marionette just didn't really have a solid way of keeping Jason down forever. He survived and regenerated from so many crazy things, nothing the marionette or the toys could ever dream of recreating.
Charlie may have been able to possess Jason, but considering how Jason's mask can possess whoever wears it, it's honestly likely that it would completely cancel out. Maybe the toys could take the mask off before that could happen, though Jason's advantage in skill and speed means he likely would be able to evade them long enough to wither them down.
Sure, Jason himself couldn't destroy Charlie's soul, but he was more than able to leave her without a body or any way to fight back.
In the end, while the marionette was no slouch and could hold her own for a time, Jason's stats, counters, and pure undying being was too much for her to match.
Charlotte should have just let go of any chance of winning, because Jason's victory was as clear as crystal.
The winner is Jason Voorhees. I liked a lot of this, to be completely honest. I like a lot of it.
That was pretty good.
Don went in and be like, oh, this is going to piss me off. And then it was like, no, we liked it. It was good. Good script.
No, pretty good.
I like I like kind of the banner between me and you. I kind of liked it. It was very good. It felt in line, I think. Matchup aside, I think this is a good script. I'm trying to think of like if there's anything I'd majorly say. Yeah, no, I mean, I think this is pretty just solid all around. I don't really have anything to note about it. I think it's a really good script. We can move on.
Well, Aqua.
Okay, this one is gonna be the most. Do you know either of these two?
I know what Mighty Number 9 is. This was the game that dude who made Mega Man went on to make after he just stopped making Mega Man games. And they were like, this game's gonna make you fucking come and weep and cry. It's gonna be so good, you're not gonna believe it. And then it came out and it was dog shit. It was awful. Nobody fucking liked it.
I don't know what the Legend of the Dark Witch is. So this is gonna be this is gonna be talking out of my ass. I don't know any of this shit. But
I have no idea.
Don is a big Mega Man fan, and it seems like the connection is that they're Mega Man inspired. So, maybe Don will get more out of this than I will. Mega Man, Capcom's cornerstone that brought them to the limelight. Before all these Street Fighters and Resident Evils, we had rock rolling through levels well within the 8-bit.
With his early iterations on copy abilities and the quality of games on the NES, it's no surprise the Blue Bomber became a main staple for gaming. And while he might have somewhat fallen off in the modern era, he'll always remain an inspiration for gamers and game makers alike.
Like Beck, the mechanical machination named Mighty Number 9.
And Zizo Olympia, the defensive deity who protects humanity.
Wait, the connection is being inspired by Mega Man. What about their little titles as indie games? Or the focus on advancements through tech and magic? Or the limitations and security measures they should have?
Yeah, sure, that's true and all, but, I mean, being honest, their adherence to the Blue Bomber style of gameplay is what put them and their companies on the map. For better or worse, best to just pay respects to that notion.
Well said. Yada yada yada. We get the fucking chant. We get it. We got more images. I like these little preview cards people are doing. Technology. Stop. Shut up, Don. Technology, what might appear as applying electricity and steel into different shapes, is how people have artificially automated systems and processes and events that prove technology is mankind's own superpower. Sorry.
Aqua, you got the line wrong. Read it better. And humankind never stops innovating. For the modern era of yes, inventors gained tools to build more than machines, especially at the Battle Coliseum. And that tool, this thing, I guess, was Zell. Much like the cells that make up humankind, Zells helped raise these automations, I believe you mean automatons, from having potential to wielding them.
With Dr. Blackwell's invention evolving technology beyond its initial limits, Zells provided strong utility and versatility, and the proudest wielders of their capabilities were the mighty numbers, from machinations of raw power and process to the emblems of humanity's creativity. Fuck you!
Until a fateful day where all turned dark. When a robotic virus unleashed upon all 52 of the United States, 52, all but one of the mighty numbers fell victim to the infection. They all reverted to a destructive mindset, fleeing away to cause havoc and damage or shield others from their arsenal.
Wait, 52 states? What's the 52nd?
What's the 51st? Knowing them, probably the state of denial.
And who else to reign in the chaos and destruction than the mightiest of the numbers? Oh, we're getting even more images. This is cool. Beck, the mighty number 9.
Alright,
you ready?
No.
Oh no.
Oh no. I assume the 51st state's probably Puerto Rico. What the fuck is the 52nd?
Yeah,
Do we finally get Greenland in this timeline? Does Greenland become the 52nd state?
No Greenland.
As the only mighty number who had not been infected by the robotic virus, this mere helper bot had a huge undertaking to endure. He had not been designed for combat, instead having been articulated for around-the-laboratory cleanup and assistance. At best, he could assimilate and cure the code of his fellow MNs.
But life doesn't wait for the solution, it makes one. Despite his initial structure, Beck had the tenacity and adaptability to count on, with some modifications and training for his new functions. Beck was well on his way to hunting his siblings down and stopping their infected destruction. What do you mean Alaska is part of the 50th, isn't it?
Yeah, Alaska is the either 50th or 49th. The two newest are Alaska and Hawaii.
Yeah, I don't know I don't think there are 50. Are there 51s? I don't think there are.
No, there's 50 states, Aqua.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 50.
You're pretty sure? No, 100%. Yes, it is 50 states and 5 territories.
Then yes, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Ah, yes, the younger siblings cleaning up after the messes of their older counterparts. Ain't that the truth? I wouldn't know. I'm an oldest child.
And after getting some pep talk and encouraging support from Dr. White,
Who I'm beginning to think copied a certain doctor's shtick.
Beck geared up and set off, and Mighty Number 9 was equipped to handle the heat. Beck's armor allows him to transform his energy into energy cannons, letting him blast red energy spheres at opponents. Goddamn.
Mighty Number 9's feet boosters also allow him to dash rapidly and in various ways, from a short distance burst to a more elongated charge to a spiraling fall to help maneuver when going down. His dash can even apply to his slide to let him dart under obstacles swiftly.
But is there a dash that could possibly make you breakfast?
Huh? Okay. Anyway, Beck has the mobility to hop over and around opposition, blasts, and obstacles. From still terrain to moving terrain to falling terrain, conveyor belts and laser-induced layouts can't stop this machine.
But perhaps the most unique aspect that Beck brings to his affinity is his affinity to Zells. Okay. See, unlike his siblings, Mighty Number 9 was the one with untapped potential, so Dr. White took his philosophy and engineered his assistant into an enforcer.
Now, to be able to wield Zells, Beck can collect these from sources like rogue machines. These can provide outlets for bolstering health, armor, and firepower. Rather useful considering how much he'll have to trudge through, and especially with what we have to play through.
And considering the advancements of his brethren, Beck's Zells allow him to copy the techniques of the other Mighty Number 9. Mighty Numbers. 8 siblings, 8 powers, 8 chances for Mega Man to call a copycat.
Reselections work as additional means of attack and control and offer their own versatility, even from seemingly mundane choices. Countershade fires a ricocheting bullet to hit enemies, Brandish provides uncharged slashes and charged spinning slashes, and Battalion can change between being a big explosive that deals heavy damage and leaves a fiery cloud, or a volley of homing missiles.
As for his more unique, I'm just going to say recollections. I'm not saying this. Recollections.
It's supposed to be a play on a reselection.
Reselection, okay. Seismic replaces his legs with caterpillar treads, boosting his speed and letting him roll over landmines. In comparison, Aviator lets him turn one arm cannon into a propeller, allowing him to slow his descent, heighten his jumps, and even fire it like a boomerang.
Boomerang?
Boomerang!
Boomerang, you do come back! And then there's his elemental abilities. Dynatron lets him send out electric darts to tag and zap enemies over time, while Pyrogen lets him store up heat and then blast it out with bigger heat waves the longer it's charged. A shame it normally ends on Cryosphere, mere freezing projectile schlock.
And it's not like they're even guaranteed to freeze tougher foes. What a ripoff.
Not as much of a ripoff as the actual truth. See, if you're able to borrow someone's wallet for a financial decision, Beck gains access to a 9th secret reselection, Megazell.
Which explains why my wallet went missing earlier. At least it lets Mighty Number 9 summon 3 small Zells that fire at enemies on sight. All the good that grants.
Aqua's inefficiency of securing their wallet.
This is not true! This is slander!
Mighty Number 9 proved himself the mightiest as he came, saw, and recovered. Oil refinery, radio tower, power plant, General Dynamics robot factory. Think of a generic yet seemingly obsolete location. And Beck has probably been there, done that.
Better yet, Beck had to face off quite against established machines. against quite established machines, rather. The mighty numbers were rated for a reason, from a reporting aviation front to a walking combustion stand. Even war faced machinations and a forgotten rogue bot, and yet all fell to him.
Or better put, he beat his sibling. Sibling, an estranged sibling. Take your pick, it doesn't matter.
Not with that attitude, it doesn't. Old Beckles, quite shit. Old Beckles is quite swift, avoiding various attacks without due regard. From timed explosives to streams of water, pillars falling to slashes whiffing, even bullets aren't that hard to slice and parry.
But the best reactions come from fighting Counter Shade, the one-armed sniper bot. More specifically, Shade fights through reflective bullets, dealing shots that bounce off surfaces. For Beck to dodge and avoid those, he'd be having to react around Mach 2.6. Pretty fast for a machine.
Even with the powers and skills and the infected mighty numbers brought, Beck would shock them down. One by one, he'd defeat and recover his brethren, curing their code and helping them find the light, or whatever positive allegory works for bots.
Which would come to a head when Mighty Number 9 would have to confront Dr. White's premier creation, Trinity. Oh, don't mind her, she's just the multi-life form, multi-phase final boss who reveals the true depths that the virus has taken.
In fact, she even assimilated the Battle Coliseum into her design. Judging by the size and scope of the assimilation, it would yield results from 0.0052 to 2 tons of TNT. That's enough power to destroy a building, and even that couldn't stop Beck.
Unlike Inafune promised during the Kickstarter, though, everything ain't so easy as it seems. Let's not beat around the bush, folks. Mighty Number 9 fucking sucks as a game. Beck's no slouch, sure, but he still had to overcome his innate timidity and fear before handling missions. That, and he's only fought machines and automatons.
Doesn't help that, unlike his brethren, Beck wasn't truly designed for combat and willing other Zells. Yeah, he can use the skills of the mighty numbers, but only as much as he has their Zells. Without it, he'll have to wait for it to recharge, and that's not counting the limits of Zell absorption, requiring fighting machines to collect them.
And yet, despite all those hurdles, Mighty Number 9 would overcome the robotic virus that infected his brethren and recover his fellow Mighty Numbers. From Ray to Trinity, he kept his optimism trucking on and pushed through, no matter how many Zells he had to absorb.
Such is the fate of mankind's superpower. With the power and potential that technology has acquired, it's helpful at least for someone to haul the reins when developments develop too far from the path. And despite his hiccups, the world's lucky to Beck as that someone at their beckon. Okay.
Zizo Olympia shows Realm of Gods that Siega does what Cap can't.
Oh, this sucks. Oh. Magic. The world of knowledge behind spells and elements hold magic in high regard, as it is the main source of such abilities. Abilities that, be it by person, machine, or weapon, would benefit with integration into society.
And society would clamor at such opportunities, for those in this would come to seek out Siega, or better known as crystallized magic, usable by all who collect them, be it for growing flowers or sparking wars that trample them.
But while individuals might find neat applications for them, it was the powerful authorities and military leaders of countries who would bring them to greater heights, and above all, greater risks.
Not that I blame them, I'd risk it too if I could gain power from a magical muffin.
It's a magical MacGuffin, Ecto.
Whatever, Aqua. Naturally, the heavens saw all this rising tension and realized that trouble would become if not handled. Oh, the trouble that would become if not handled. And so they selected the goddess of magic to come down and help ensure their survival through stopping this charade.
And she was none other than Zizo Olympia. This just looks like fucking Shantae. This is just Shantae.
It's edgy Shantae.
It's edgy Shantae.
Who the fuck is Zizo Olympia?
Is that one Guardians of the Galaxy clip?
Who? Serving as the goddess who overlooked humanity, Olympia knew that life down below would have its moments. Conflicts, power, desire for power, ego, they all ran rampant through her denizens, and while she would at first relax, duty called when the world's balance.
Despite her averse nature and desire to not fight, Zizo knew her responsibilities were greater than her desires. So after setting a plan in mind for where to traverse and who to confront, she descended from the heavens to run through the lands and find her targets. And also, unlike her players, Zizo is quite smart. She's able to locate Siega with few or no hints, can deduce weaknesses and patterns of her foes, and handle proper warriors and guardians just fine. Hey. Oh, shit. Oh, Dawn, your mic cut out. I'm sorry, chat. I didn't realize it cut out. Fuck. OBS loves being stupid. I don't know where we cut off at, so we'll just continue where we went. Sorry, guys.
But it wasn't just acrobatics and smarts that could handle her opposition. Being a goddess, Zizo is proficient in the realm of magic. Say that again? Having access to a variety of spells that bolster her capabilities.
Where am I at? Capabilities.
You're at liner shot.
Oh, liner shots. Liner shot shoots straight forward and is the standard magical blast option, while a comet works as an alternative through wave-like motions. Terabyte Rock lets her rain down a rock upon an opponent, while Dre Warden lets her unleash a skull bash that can damage multiple enemies.
But then there's more utility-based spells, better for supporting her than adding to her offense. Wing Time allows her to slow her midair descent for a short time, while Magical Glow heals half of her health on the fly. Express grants her the ability to boost her speed, while Disruptive lets her cancel out all active buffs and debuffs for herself and, better yet, her opposition.
But her greatest skill with magic is replication, more specifically copying a significant spell of her foes, called technical skills, which grant her many opportunities. Crosses of multi-directional spikes, a bubble raining down pike balls, revolving discuses? Discuses?
Discuses. A discus is a disc that you throw.
Small tornadoes, upward crests, volleying orbs, valiant forward charges, a disappearing and reappearing orb, and even a brief multi-block shield.
And if that isn't enough, how about slowing time down? Or launching a miniature black hole?
But these are all bolstered by Trace. I'm assuming it's Trace like the word. Which serves as the main resource to fuel her fight. As she gains Tress, which she can do by hitting foes, she can apply it to herself. This is through various means, such as barrier forms a one-hit barrier, or powering her attacks up in amount and power.
Oh, don't get me started on the revenge arts, as if she doesn't have enough shit in her pockets. Able to fill up her revenge power, Zizo can retaliate with a revenge blast that can grow in size, or if she prefers, her mightiest spell, Hyper Dark Arm, which unleashes a clone of Dark Energy Blast, or a cone of Dark Energy Blast.
Though all of these would come with caveats. Most of them would require Tress to either activate or serve as the ammunition, which is a big serious consideration. That also extends to revenge power, which has an opportunity cost of losing health and Tress on a hit for exchange of revenge power.
Kind of useless that there's no free way for revenge parry. God damn it. That's what it's there for.
And yet, that's not all. For Zizo isn't limited by her mortal coils. No, with a flick of an orange outline, she can release herself and invoke unlimited mode.
Quite useful since it stops requiring Tress to activate moves, allowing her to use them freely, just like when she fought Riva. I'm starting to think she's just better than those Siega-needing plebs.
Now you're catching on! Despite the limitations of magic, Zizo would go on to traverse through harsh conditions, kingdom domains, and uncharted territories. She stopped the nation of Brazil from obtaining unprecedented power, liberated the authority and power from Siega, defeated and then saved the Magic Lion Corps, and stopped Verde's control of the Arcane Relay.
Fairies, beastkin, treasure hunters, scientists, scholars, magicians, knights, guards, even princesses of nations would fall to her might. She'd humble her foes in a fight she didn't really want, but would put up with, and make allies with those she found reliable, like the Princess Riva and the studious Stoge.
Okay, yeah, sure. Zizo can beat them. But can she riz them?
You tell me.
Oh, ooh. No, well, I mean, I do love Yuri representation, guys, but whatever.
Nico, tag in.
Nico, no, go ahead.
She might not seem it, given her sarcasm and dry tone, but is much more skilled than many would give credit. Time and time again, power-hungry rulers and warmongers prepared to withhold and unleash power, ready to control nations under their rule, and every time, she quashed their attempts.
Collecting mouse self. Fucking stupid word. Ahem! Which is pretty impressive, considering what she's gone up against. Masters of the arcane arts, leaders and powerful figures of their species, figureheads for militaries, soldiers, they all don't hesitate.
And when they're able to let loose, they're capable as hell. Or they're capable of hell? Miniature fissures, flaming phoenixes that set a swath of land ablaze, attacks that are too fast for the naked eye, leaving the area pitch black for a small time, and small-scale ice storms, which, due to the projectiles and impact, despite the short time frame, can yield a force of at least 2 megatons of TNT.
2 megatons. And considering how Zizo is much powerful than them, she more than upscales them. She can not only beat them individually and fight on par when they're grouped together as a trio. She can withstand their miniature black holes. They're pretty lucky she didn't throw those out too. Hold on. I edited mine a bit after submitting it. Is it one we already read? If it's one we already read, then kind of hard. If you submitted it and like only slightly altered something, then it doesn't matter. I don't care. Because we're already reading them. If we have gotten to it yet, we're not going back and rereading it. But if it's still coming up, then yeah, that's fine. If you're just fixing things,
No, we haven't read his yet.
then yeah, we're good. Don't worry about it. That's not even getting into how fast.
Line?
Yep, that's your line.
Oh, okay. That's not even getting into how fast Olympia is. Zizo's agile enough to dodge thrown spears, hopping animals, sweeping slashes, rising blades, charges that vanish in the blink of an eye, raining storms, and even raw fireballs, which is pretty impressive given how fast fireballs can fly.
But she's even faster than mere fireballs, obviously. When fighting Brigitte, I have to say Brigitte. I don't know. This witch called down small meteorites, or miniature meteors, and Zizo can dodge these meteors, not just singular ones, but a multitude of them. Quite impressive, given that meteors can move at speeds ranging from Mach 32 to Mach 200.
Despite her affinity for magic, though, Zizo isn't as flawless as others believe. She doesn't always feel that energetic, doesn't always take things seriously, and has doubted and underestimated opponents and levels before. Relatable, which has actually ended up biting her in the ass. Again, very relatable.
Magic isn't limitless either. If she loses Tress, she can lose ammunition for her abilities, both attack and support. She's vulnerable to status effects like getting poisoned and can be drained, like how Capacity Zero rendered her helpless.
But regardless of facing the world's finest time and time again, Zizo saw the inner beauty of the planet's denizens. Human or beastkin or fae, powerful or powerless, prideful or jealous, she kept seeing the spark that pushed them forward, and in turn kept pushing her forward.
Just goes to show how enduring humanity remains. For those looking for the Siega to empower their weapons, or those seeking anything but, there's a watchful eye from above. She's no guardian angel, but believers all rejoice in the grace of Zizo Olympia. Alright, we got the fight. They did like shit too. Okay. Alright.
KO. That's one way to say no to AI.
While Beck was mighty in his own right, Zizo was certainly no slouch on her own. Mighty number 9 might have greater stamina and incentive, but that's not earning him any points on its own.
Not like Mighty Number Nine's quality and 3DS viability are earning any merit either.
For a matchup like this, we ought to focus on the aspect old Mega Man would follow: physicality, abilities, and skill.
Starting with stats, this wasn't really a contest. Let's begin with speed. Beck can dodge sniper rounds at Mach 2.6, but Olympia can dodge fireballs at twice that speed and meteors at Mach 50 to Mach 200. And if you don't buy that, weaving around the fireballs lets her react to Mach 5. She's nearly 2 times faster than Beck at her absolute worst, and 76 times faster without holding back.
And that's the better half for Mighty Number 9. Beck's 2 tons of TNT is a million times weaker than Zizo scaling to the 2 megatons of TNT worth of the Ice Storm, not Firestorm. That's a DC character. Especially with how she tanks and upscales it. Olympia absolutely takes physicality. As for abilities, this is where it gets even worse for Beck. While he might not have more offensive close-range options, he's sorely lacking in the versatility department. He has 8 different options, and they all have their own capabilities, like aiding in mobility or giving an element to an attack of his. But he can only choose one at a time. Zizo can not only switch between hers at any time without cooldown or showing what she's about to do, she has many more options up her sleeves: health recovery, defensive shields, long-range attacks, projectiles, and, the parry. Pretty handy against a foe like Beck.
Perhaps the biggest disaster for Beck is how Zells are limited. His reselections are far harder to work with because they have a finite limit based on getting Zells. Without Zells, his options for attack and recovery dwindle over time.
Comparatively, Tress works on an on-hit basis, while Zizo loses Tress if she's hit and gets used up with her abilities. Her superior speed makes it easier to land and dodge attacks, helps that Tress can generate a barrier, and if Zizo doesn't feel like it, she can just unleash her unlimited mode without abandon, as if that wasn't a big enough slap to the face.
And while Nine's Excel recovery would seem like a good solution for patching him up, it is a one-time use that can't work if he dies too fast. Plus, Zizo can spend a little Tress to activate magical grow, or wasn't it glow? Okay, whichever. To heal half her health, which she can repeat in a fight like this, unlike her foe. Olympia takes this category too.
The most debatable category, then, is their skill. Both sides have arguments behind them and highlight their histories in fighting.
Mighty Number 9 has the better record for training and practice, having actual experience and input from Dr. White's lessons. He's also had to navigate longer and more generally destructive locations and settings, like broken construction sites and rising heights for a broadcast station.
However, Zizo has a longer and more extensive record of meaningful fights that truly test her, ranging from magic wielders to melee warriors and skilled figureheads of countries. Even war-experienced generals and protective knights have fallen to her might. The mighty numbers might bolster individual skills and elements when facing Number 9, but the variety and offense they employ isn't as stacked as Zizo's antagonist.
I mean, Mighty Number 9 only has a one canon game. The Legend of Dark Witch has at least 4. Skill was a closer debate, but it still wasn't much of a contest.
Beck was a worthwhile opponent and had his merits to fall back on, but Zizo Olympia had the power, abilities, and experience to handle the heat and dish it right back out.
Guess the only mighty thing here was how Zizo made Beck cry like an anime fan at prom night. Yeah, sorry.
You should be. The winner is Zizo Olympia. Okay.
Wow.
This is fucking impressive. Like, good length. Good length, I'd say. Maybe reading it, it just feels longer, because this is 21 pages. I don't think Springtrap Junko's, or even Tetris Jenga, for that matter, is this long in length. But I wonder if...
No, this is real long.
Yeah, that's probably the bigger thing I'd probably say, is, like, length is kind of crazy. This is kind of long. Especially for two characters that are, like... I mean, Zizo sounds like she has a lot more to talk about than Mighty Number 9. The fact you got this many pages at a Mighty Number 9 is fucking crazy to me. But it's a cool script, and, like, I like the little digs at Mighty Number 9 and its analysis. That's funny. Yeah, I think the big thing to work on is length, because it is a little too long. That's probably the big thing I'd say. But other than that, like, I like the jokes. I think the actual, like, coverage is cool, and the little images you did was pretty cool too. So, good stuff. Good stuff.
I think we've got time for one more, and I think that would leave us at the halfway point, because I think we got 10 submissions. That would leave us at 5, and we could maybe do the rest tomorrow.
We'll do one more, and then we will come back another time and finish these. It's not like we're not trying to like act like we're not going to do them. We're going to get to them. We are busy people. We do have, we'll have time for one more. Someone asked, dang, after Inoshima going to be long? Oh, it's still decent length. I don't mean to say it's going to be like super long or that's going to be super short. My point was that script is longer than like the normal Realm of God scripts I've written. So that was longer than Tetris Jenga and I think Springtrap Junko, but don't hold me to that. But no, Springtrap Junko is about the same length. If not, I think it's longer, maybe? I'm not sure, but it's around the same level. Don't worry. I promise you it's not a short episode by any means. There's a reason it's taking a while. Okay, we got one more. This is Odysseus from Epic the Musical versus Asgore from Undertale.
I don't get it.
Don, did you watch Epic with the others? I don't know if you did that or not.
No, I read the Odyssey, and while everybody else was watching Epic and then doing like fucking 7 or 8 like karaoke's of Epic the Music, never fucking be bothered with this because it's been nothing but Epic the Musical for 2 fucking days.
I do like Asgore. I'm curious to see how the Undertale coverage. I read the okay, specifically, I read a portion of the Odyssey for my English class. I've not actually read the full thing. We never read the full thing. I watched a recap of it. And of course, I played Undertale several times. So, this is going to be a learning experience for me about like what more Epic itself is about. If it's just a recount of the Odyssey, then, I mean, I don't know. I am very curious why it is Epic the Musical specifically, so I guess we'll see. Alright, last one for the night, people. Every kingdom needs a ruler, a person that will lead them to victory in every battle they get into.
And these 2 kings are some of the greatest of today. Well, they're not today. The Odyssey took place like fucking 3,000 years ago.
Odysseus, the reigning king of Ithaca.
And Asgore Dreamer, the ageless king of the underground.
These 2 are some of the most popular kings in fiction today. But who would win in a fight? Who would win in a 1-on-1 fight? I'm Aqua, the Master of the Vision. Yeah, a little Realm of Gods.
They're 2 of the most popular kings in fiction today. I don't know about all that.
Is Asgore that? I don't know. Odysseus maybe, but that's only because of like folklore and like.
I feel like at this point, Asgore's more famous as like a divorced dad than he is a king.
Yeah, that's probably fair. We talk about Odysseus. Cool image though. Since the early 7th century, there's been one story that's considered to be one of the greatest. This is the Odyssey.
Created by Homer, an ancient Greek poet, it follows the story of King Odysseus spending years of his life fighting a series of gods and monsters, all to get back to his wife and son.
Say that again. But as the internet does, many have taken a spin on this story and took a slightly different route. This is where Epic comes in.
Is it like the name, or?
Yep, that's the name. Made by George Rivera Herons, sorry. The Odyssey, not the Odysseus, as I say the Odysseus. The Odyssey was turned into a musical, with a few things changed to make it, well, epic.
Odysseus first killed a boar in the forest at a young age, but as it disappeared, he realized he was being watched. Using his wit, he stated that he could see whoever was watching him, and tricked the goddess Athena into revealing herself.
Turns out that the boar he killed was a challenge she set so she could see who was worthy enough to become the one she mentored. Fuck. Go ahead around 20-ish years, and Odysseus sets off to the kingdom of Troy to fight in a war with a promise to return to his wife, Penelope.
Being part of this war, Odysseus obviously has your standard arsenal for a warrior. Swords, shields, armor, harpoons, your usual stuff. But he's most skilled in the art of archery, using his bow and arrow to kill any fool that thinks they're better than he is. Under his command, Odysseus and his crews succeeded in the war, but due to the vision of a soldier attacking him, Odysseus was forced to, kill King Hector's baby under the orders of Zeus. This
aside, he and his crew set off back to Ithaca, but when notified by Eurycles? I don't know how to say this name.
Eurylochus.
Eurylochus? I'm sorry. That they run out of food.
Eurylochus.
They made a stop at an island where Odysseus and his friend Polides, there you go, found the lotus eaters. Fuck. In the Odyssey, the lotus eaters are humans being controlled by the plant known as the lotus tree. Here, however, they're simply a species of small, furry creatures known as Winions, which here are also controlled by the lotus tree.
These Winions gave him and Polites the directions to a cave that stored food inside, so, traveling with a small part of the crew, they went that direction, eventually finding a cave full of sheep. They began to kill, but unbeknownst to them, they had accidentally slaughtered the friend of Polyphemus, a Cyclops.
Upon being confronted, Odysseus offered the Cyclops some of the best tasting wine he had, and as expected, the offer worked completely fine. Oh.
It changed.
It changed.
Polites. They added another I. Polites had died. Odie.
Odie, I hate that. I don't call Odysseus Odie.
Odysseus was traumatized and watched as men after men were killed before him. This was not the end, though. By secretly drugging the Cyclops with the wine from before, he had ordered his men to sharpen the club and stab the Cyclops in the eye to escape. Wanting to keep Polites' legacy going, though, he spared the Cyclops, separated ways with Athena, and shouted his name before setting back off on his journey. Not a good idea, buddy.
The Cyclops he blinded was none other than Poseidon, the god of the sea. How would that even work?
Poseidon was pissed, blaming Odysseus and his men for the pain his son had to go through. I mean, who wouldn't if a random group of men just walked into your son's home, killed his friend, and then stabbed him in the eye?
The Cyclops he blinded was none other than the son of Poseidon. Is that what they mean?
I think.
I was like, that confused me for a second. The god called a channel of waves, drowning a fleet of Odysseus' men to teach him a lesson. Yet just as he was about to kill the king, Odysseus unleashed the power of Aeolus's windbag to escape, with the last words he heard being to remember Poseidon. Speaking to Aeolus, on his journey, Odysseus was able to throw a harpoon all the way up to her island in the sky while his ship was sailing.
This sort of strength is actually quite consistent as well. After the encounter with Poseidon, he was able to overpower Circe, another goddess that was able to summon the power of Chimera during their battle. He was also able to decapitate the Sirens, beings that had previously killed multiple other crews and destroyed their ships. As you can probably tell, Odysseus is definitely not a slouch when it comes to fighting.
On top of this, Odie, I fucking hate it. Odysseus can become immune to magic, or create a monster from his imagination with the flower he obtained from Hermes. Learn how his opponents attack very quickly, spot sirens from only a few signs, and even break the fourth wall on occasions. Having more experience in overall feats should also make him comparable to the suitors, who were able to overcome Telemachus when he was under the training of Athena.
After all of this, his trauma and the foes he faced eventually all added up, breaking Odysseus down to the point he abandoned the idea of greeting foes with open arms and decided that if he wanted to get home, he would become a monster.
So he met Scylla and did nothing, ordering his men to run for their lives to sacrifice 6 of them to the monster lurking in the water. Seems unnecessary, right? Well, that's exactly what the remaining crew thought, demanding an answer for their leader's actions.
But still, Odysseus stayed silent, and his crew turned on him, stabbing him before killing a cow as he just watched. What? A cow? What did the cow do?
Dude, what the fuck?
He didn't do nothing.
You just killed a cow? What the fuck, Odysseus? Not cool, man.
He attempted to get his crew away one last time, but it was too late. Zeus had arrived.
I'm not saying this. I'm not fucking saying this.
Oh, what? What, please?
I'm not saying this. I'm not. You're sorry? You better be.
Sorry, Aqua. You said what? Aqua, you said
I'm sorry.
what?
Can we just continue the analysis?
Please.
Please, Sonic.
Please, Sonic.
Please, Sonic. Continue with the analysis, Sonic. Alright.
Please.
Zeus gave Odysseus a choice. Would he save himself or his men? Of course he chose to save himself. What else did you expect him to happen? What else did you expect to happen right after they attempted to murder him?
His whole crew was then smited down with a bolt of lightning that, believe it or not, Odysseus was also in, yet still survived. Pretty impressive considering that Zeus has been confirmed to be the most powerful character in all of Epic. No way, though.
No way. Zeus is the strongest character. Odysseus now needed to fight for himself, stranded on an island to be Calypso's lover for the rest of eternity. But you know that changed eventually after Athena had a quick little meeting with Zeus. No biggie.
So when seeing the silhouette of his old kingdom, Odysseus believed that his journey had finally come to a close, but that was until a familiar figure emerged from the depths of the ocean.
Poseidon had returned and was ready to finish off what he didn't get to do before, throwing his trident to send the king to the bottom of the ocean for the rest of time.
Odysseus looked back at his life, all the foes he had faced, all the men he had lost, and the war he went through wouldn't be for nothing.
So he opened the windbag once more, getting the god on the ground and stabbing him with his own trident to make him feel the same amount of pain his men had to go through.
And, with the exception of needing to deal with some suitors, Odysseus was done. He returned home, met with the son he never got to interact with, and showed his love for his wife to complete a journey that was truly epic.
Say that again.
Epic. We love it.
This is epic. Alright, we got Asgore. A long time ago, the war between humans and monsters began. The humans were triumphant in the end, with the monsters being sealed away in a location titled the Underground.
This separation obviously took a toll on the monsters, but they made the best of their situation, with their king calling it the home of all monsters.
Who is this king? Well, introducing Asgore Dreamer, married to the loving Toriel Dreamer. Asgore is the ruler of the Underground and the centerpiece of one of the most popular memes in God damn it!
Riding in my car right after a beer. Hey, that bump looks just like a deer. DUI, how about you die?
I'll go 100 miles an hour.
Asgore and Toriel eventually had a child named Azrael, but as a figure tripped on a root, a child had soon fallen into the ruins of the underground. Okay, just no mention of Togor. I see how it is.
Yeah, no Togor. Fuck you. This child was Kara. Helped by Azrael, they were taken in and adopted by Asgore due to a change of heart for humans. But that wouldn't be for long.
Shortly after moving, Kara got terminally ill from a butterscotch pie and died with a wish that was never fulfilled. This was not the end of them, however. Is that real? Is that what happened?
Confirmed? I don't know if that's confirmed. I think Kara just got ill from something else. Is it actually confirmed it was butterscotch pie? Why?
Toriel's cooking his dad ass.
Toriel's that shit at cooking and just fucking killed him. I'm like, what? Azrael absorbed the soul of Kara, with two different people trapped to live in the same body for the rest of their lives. Controlling Azrael's body, Kara's corpse was carried to the surface world, but was soon attacked and murdered by the humans of a nearby village.
Oh, it was buttercups, I think.
Buttercup.
It was a flower.
Okay, I was like, I don't think it was butterscotch pie. That'd be so fucking crazy if that is... Toriel's cooking was just that bad it killed her child. That would be crazy.
Asgore was broken due to the deaths of his only kids and swore to kill any other poor soul that fell into the underground.
You see, in the world of Undertale, human souls held immense power. So much power, in fact, that it would take the souls of nearly every single monster to equate to the same amount of determination of a human soul. Which, you know... is a lot. On top of that, a human soul also has enough power to wipe out a village. I wonder how much power I have.
Aqua, you're a mouse.
How do you know I don't have the power to destroy the village? Heck, I could probably destroy the world if I wanted to.
Whatever.
Upon learning about this power, Asgore, not me, planned to use the souls of the humans killed to break the barrier that separated the two worlds to declare another war between humans and monsters.
As child after child fell into the underground, Asgore had them killed to harvest their souls, putting them all in containment until only one out of the 7 souls remained. And this is where you, the player, come in.
You play as Frisk, the latest child to fall into the underground, that has now been taken in and taught by Toriel to greet other monsters with mercy. How come Toriel's the one tutoring you? Well, we forgot to mention that due to being disgusted by Asgore's plan, she got divorced from the king and now attempts to protect you at all costs.
Though this would not stop the king. When meeting the player at the bed of flowers in the throne room, he led them away to the 6 souls that he had already captured, and shattered the last option to greet him with mercy for one last battle to free monster kind.
Asgore's main use of attacking revolves around fire magic that allows him to command fireballs to rain down from the sky, create rings of fire, or even create spiraling pillars of flames.
Not to mention, the king can also create orange or blue attacks to trick those going against him, go fast enough to create after images, and even just break the 4th wall.
Remember when we said he shattered the options to greet him with mercy? Yeah, we meant that literally. With a single stab, it just crumbled. There it goes.
It was no wonder that Asgore was able to go toe-to-toe with Frisk, taking multiple attacks from the fallen child, and in some cases, even killing them.
But with one last slash, he knelt in defeat with a small bit of health remaining and explained the truth behind his plan.
He stated that his whole plan was created to simply give the monsters hope by continuing the war against humans, and then offered up his own soul to allow the child to escape the underground.
If you choose to fight, Asgore dies with a sorrowful smile on his face, only for that annoying-ass flower you met at the start to come and take his soul for you, while ranting about whatever his killer be killed philosophy was.
Aqua, you stumbled on the line, say it better.
Shut up.
If you choose to follow the words of Toriel and spare Asgore's life, the king offers to take you in and treat you like his own child, only for Flowey to come in and ruin that moment once again. Asgore really can't catch a break, can he? He doesn't fucking deserve one, he sucks.
Pretty much, Asgore is a monster that's set to die in quite literally every route in Undertale. Well, with the exception of one.
If the player goes throughout the entire game while sparing and befriending every single character that's needed, they begin the true pacifist route and come face to face with Flowey, who had captured Asgore and the rest of their friends by tangling them up in a mess of vines.
The flower revealed his true identity as none other than the king's son, Asriel Dreamer, the god of hyperdeath.
How is Asriel, this seemingly silly little flower? Well, when Asriel was killed by the humans all those years ago, he disintegrated into a pile of dust that was blown into a bed of flowers in the underground, where he was later reborn as the talking plant we all know.
The battle between Frisk and Asriel would be long, with the lost souls of the captured friends being used to fight. But as Frisk called out to the souls of their friends, they had the realization that one more soul needed to be saved.
As memories of Asriel and the first fallen child flickered onto screen, a remnant of the broken child beneath it seeped through, apologizing for their actions and asking Frisk to take care of his biological parents.
And with that, Asriel was defeated. Despite having little idea of what happened, Asgore and the rest of Frisk's friends were ready to follow the human to the surface as he traveled home.
Looking back on his journey, his feats, his failures, and everything that came before, Asgore was ready to move on, and after years of trying, finally exit the underground to complete the story of Undertale.
Whoa,
whoa, whoa.
Story of Undertale. KO!
And then... So, who rules over the underground now? Is it like Toriel or just some random monster?
With how Undertale works, this is a bit of an unexpected outcome, but there's still quite a few reasons for why Odysseus was able to win here, so we'll separate this into a few categories, starting off with physicality.
Asgore is nothing to laugh at in terms of durability. He can survive attacks from Frisk, whose soul should be powerful enough to destroy a village. But that pales in comparison to Odysseus surviving lightning created by Zeus, the most powerful character in all of Epic the Musical.
This sort of durability is consistent for Odysseus as well, surviving being stabbed twice, one of which being from Poseidon, from Poseidon himself. Sure, Poseidon isn't as strong when doing close-range attacks, but his waves alone were enough to kill nearly all of Odysseus' crew. Stop saying Odysseus' crew. Odysseus' crew, and destroy their ships in the process.
However, you could argue that Asgore scales to Frisk themselves due to the fact that his tarot card backs up the fact that he's killed them before. This would ultimately allow him to get the speed advantage here, given that Frisk can dodge attacks from Azrael, including the Hyper Goner attack that could supposedly purge an entire timeline.
Having an attack rating of 80, Asgore is also one of the strongest monsters in all of Undertale, and should be stronger than others like Undyne, who can casually suplex large boulders, or Mettaton, who is able to casually break down a wall.
Physicality goes to Asgore.
Next up, we have abilities versus Arsenal.
Asgore's blue or orange attacks would throw Odysseus off for some time, but as we've seen in both Epic and Greek mythology, he's an extremely fast learner. Sure, he wouldn't know how to counter his attacks at first, but he could definitely catch on to the monster's tricks eventually.
Additionally, Asgore's fire-based attacks also rely on magic. While this magic would still affect Odie, the flower obtained from Hermes would allow him to get hit by this, as it nullifies the amount of damage taken from a being's magical attacks.
Also, secret weapon, the windbag is kind of broken. Holding on to the roaring winds created by Poseidon's storm, it's quite possible Odysseus' most powerful item in his arsenal for both combat and escaping. That's a point for Odysseus.
For the deciding factor, we have skill.
Both Asgore and Odysseus have their own equal amount of experience in terms of fighting in wars, but Odysseus had the more professional training from actual goddess, who taught Telemachus how to fight against Antinous fairly well in a short period of time during the Wisdom Saga.
Odysseus has also fought greater opponents than Asgore ever did. Frisk was definitely an extremely powerful foe, matching the likes of Toriel or even Asgore himself. So yes, you just said that. But when compared to the literal gods and monsters Odie faced on his journey back to Ithaca, it's not exactly a competition.
Even if you gave Asgore that edge, Odysseus' intelligence is far greater than the monsters spotting sirens from only a few signs or outsmarting goddesses is only the beginning. Heck, the title he earned quite literally names him as the Warrior of the Mind. And
with that, Odysseus takes the final category.
Asgore was a powerful ruler that could give foes a run for their money, but when compared to Odysseus' skills, arsenal, and experience, only one monster could come out on top in this battle.
The winner is Odysseus. Da, da, da. Something somebody brought up in the chat, and something I kind of definitely agree with, is like, this is just a lot of story recap.
I feel like it's an issue that's kind of just inherent to using characters like Asgore or Odysseus, where it's like, you could definitely cover some of the feats Odysseus has from the Odyssey, and I wish they would have gone into that more. I think that, like, specifically using Epic the Musical and this matchup in general don't really make a lot of sense. And Asgore is one of those characters that's like, yeah, he's important, but he's only important for so much of already a relatively, like, small scale story, kind of.
Yeah.
So there's not that much to talk about for Asgore. A lot of Asgore's analysis kind of has to be, well, actually, here's just stuff about Kara and Azrael instead.
Yeah, I think it's probably more of a problem with the matchup. I think you probably could talk about more about Odysseus if you don't just focus on Epic the Musical. Like, I think it's fine because, like, for an analysis, right? For, like, if we did, not saying we are, but if we did Odysseus or, like, a character from the Odyssey for some reason, we would just focus on the original story, but then we could use stuff like Epic the Musical and other, like, adaptations of it for footage and, like, still talk about it. Because the primary source would still be the book. This is only focusing on the musical, so you are cutting out a lot of stuff from it. The actual writing itself is good. I think the pacing is fine enough. Maybe one page shorter might have helped it, but other than that, like, I think the actual writing itself, but I think it just, a lot of the issues with it mainly just come down to the matchup itself, because you're limiting yourself a lot by writing about these two characters, because there's not too much to talk about when you're focusing on what you're focusing on. So I think that's something, if you, for example, if this person, T-Monkey VR is what their name is, if you were to do, like, your own versus show or something else, you probably would have focused on somebody who has a bit, maybe not as much coverage if you're trying to do research all by yourself, but someone with more to talk about, because this is good for, like, the actual writing itself. Just with the characters you're talking about, they're very limited, so you're not going to be able to get much out of them. But other than that, I think the actual writing itself is good, and it's not a bad script by any means. I still think it's very good stuff. That is the last one we have for tonight. We might do another one tomorrow, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. Our schedules are kind of weird right now, but we're working on it. We'll get through the other ones. We promise. I think we're halfway through. But
We get there.
we will get there. Thank you all for coming and watching. Bye bye, y'all. Bye bye.